Hello and welcome to another episode of Bare Bones Wargaming, a show with no bells, no whistles, no frills, just a man, a camera, and his game. On this episode, we're taking a look at an unboxing, a upgrading of a game that when it came out 6 years ago, it's been 6 years, whoa, I had high hopes for, because he's got high hopes. Yeah, it just didn't pan out. That is Fleet Commander Nimitz by DVG Games. And as you can see, I'll show you here in a second. You might even be able to see it already. But as you can see, it's definitely been a while since I've had this off the shelf. So, alright. But the upgrade and expansion kits are here. So, I'm going to show you what I ordered. For those of you who either have the game already, or, of course, if you're thinking about buying the second edition, then I'm going to show you the upgrade kit, what's in there, which, of course, will now come with the second edition. And then, of course, there are some expansions as well, too. Okay? So, let's take a look and see what's inside the box, and we'll go from there. Alright, so, first thing that was inside my box, which showed up today, was the Fleet Commander Nimitz Adversary, Admiral Yamamoto. So this is the AI deck now that comes now with the game. This is supposed to make the Japanese AI, if you're familiar with the Leader series, like Field Commander Napoleon, Rommel, Alexander. This is supposed to make the AI a little tougher to deal with. You know what is tough, though, is getting this box open. Holy smoke, man. What the... Alright, hold on, bear with me here. Alright, let's see what we got inside here. This is expansion number 1, though, as you can see. Okay, so here we go. I like the back, the code word for attacking Pearl Harbor. So what do we got inside? Alright, we have a couple different things here. Oh, some stuck inside. There we go. Okay, so we got the instructions to go with it. How to use the counters. Single sheet. You know, as usual, typical DVG stuff. You got color. You got a diagram. Okay, giving you the components. Here's some of the components here. So these are fleet markers, from what I understand, and this is just scuttlebutt I picked up on BGG. This is supposed to be for, you know, to use to organize your forces. Okay, so different years here you can see. Okay, and then we have also in here we have some cards as well too. Surface Fleet number 1, the Caroline Islands. This one's the Philippines. This is East Asia. Carrier Fleet number 1, East Asia. Carrier Fleet number 4 in Japan. So there's lots of different things here that are going to be force cards, it looks like. So that's kind of cool. I'll be kind of curious to see how that's going to play out. And then there's another deck of cards here too. It looks to be similar to that, but it looks like for later years. If I can get them out of the plastic, bear with me, because this is literally an unboxing. I haven't taken anything out of the box yet. So we got some more here. As you can see, we've got Surface Fleet, Carrier Fleet number 1 for 1944. Okay, other ones for 1944. So those ones, these ones are clearly for the end of the war, and the other package was for the first part. Okay, they look a little faded, though. Is that my imagination? What do you think? They almost look a little... like a few of them almost look a little faded. But maybe it's just the lighting. Maybe I'm wrong. Like this one. Doesn't it look a little faded to you? Alright. Anyway, so that's what's in there. A single sheet with a bunch of counters. Okay. And then I guess maybe some of this, because it's talking about putting them there. So maybe this is supposed to be like for, you know, deception, intelligence, you know. Okay. So, that's expansion number 1. Then we also have the Fleet Commander Nimitz Total War expansion. Now, I was interested when I first opened the box and looked at this. This reminded me of, have you ever seen that classic Saturday Night Live skit, Mainway Toys and stuff? You know, the bag of glass. You know, kids be careful, broken glass. That's what this reminded me of. Was like those kind of bags you see from the 70s. You know, 8-track, flashback. So this is the Total War expansion. Production progress sheet, year by year force sheets, production counter sheet. Play the entire war from start to finish. Now, this was one of the big criticisms of the game, including yours truly, when it came out, was, dude, there's scenarios for every year, but where is the campaign game? And of course, there wasn't one. So this is rectifying that. Okay, so let's open it up. Oh, this brings back childhood stuff here, opening bags like this, you know. And then, of course, your mother saying, now don't, make sure it doesn't get near your little brother. Okay, Mom. Alright, so we have some more counters here. We have some built ones here, fortification counters, and we have some more Japanese battalions. So that's good. Looks like we have some supply counters up here, too. Very cool. We have rules, what to do with all these things, front and back. Looks like it's just one sheet of paper, and it is. Okay. Oh, alright, this is cool. So now we have all this stuff for, basic training, shipyards, assembly lines. Huh, looks like some kind of holding spaces up here. Then down here we have home front morale. Huh, U.S. resupply. Okay, enthusiastic cheering ticker tape parade. Okay, alright, very cool. That'll be interesting to see how that plays into everything. And we have some updated campaign sheets here. Okay, and it looks like there's replacements as well too. Okay, so interesting. So I guess it's depending on what year you want to start the war from, it looks like, and then take the war out to the end. I'm guessing, because this one has 1943 boxed here on the left-hand side, if you see down through. Okay, that's cool. And then, of course, there's also cards for 44 and 45. No further than that. Okay, so that is how you'll get your campaign game put together. Cool. All right. Okay. Another expansion here. This one is the 16 island sheets, unique battle sheets, Iwo Jima, Midway, the Solomons, and more. Now, of course, in the first edition of Fleet Commander Nimitz, you basically had, for your battle board, you had a generic map space that looked like this. And that was it. You know, every single battle you fought around any island, whatever island you were trying to attack, whatever island you were trying to invade, was always fought on this battle. Same thing. So let's take a look at these new sheets, which don't appear to be mounted, by the way, but I mean, you know, there are sheets. It does say sheets, doesn't it? Yes, it does. 16 island sheets. But let's take a look inside. Let's see what we got. Okay. Oh. All right. Oh. I didn't realize the paper tag came off and it's actually a Ziploc bag. Whoops. Silly me. Alright. Oh well, there's worse things in life. It's not the end of the world. Not like there's a missile on the way. Okay, so here we go. So battle sheets. We've got our directions here for the new battle sheets. Okay. Explanations of the wording that's on each one. Very cool. Okay. And then let's see what we got here. We've got the Philippines. That's very cool. We got Samoa, just in case the Japanese get that far, I guess. Got Midway, because of course we're going to need it, as we all know. Oh, New Cal, the Americal division, right? Yeah. Speaking of news, New Guinea. Okay, cool. Okinawa, Typhoon of Steel. Wake Island. The Solomons, climbing the ladder, which you can do. Here come the Marianas, minus the turkey shoot. Iwo Jima, as in Sands of. Ah, look at this. Well, they got every Well, I'm trying to see if this is 2, but I think this is only just 1. Okay. They put everything in, including the kitchen sink. Look at that. There's Alaska, too. And, of course, even though it would have been extremely difficult to do, there's the Hawaiian Islands. And, of course, you know, you've watched The Man in the High Castle. Borneo. Okay. The Caroline Islands. The Marshalls. And, of course, the Gilberts. Okay. Very cool. So, every single set of islands, I think that's on the map, has their own map now for invasion. That is totally awesome. And it's nice thick heavy paper too, by the way. It's not flimsy. Hold on a second. You can hear it. Hear that? It's like, yeah, it's thicker than cardboard, but it's not like super heavy. So, but that's still cool. I mean, it's nice. I'm glad that those are included now. So when you invade each island, there's something unique on each one. Very cool. And there's unique rules to each one. Hopefully you noticed that at the bottom. And then, of course, you got your rule sheet to explain the new key terms. Okay, awesome. Now, before we get to the piece de resistance, just a couple other things. DVD trays, which was part of my package deal. There's 5 of them there with lids. So I got nice deep ones, which is cool. And then I also got these because when I saw this, I was just like, this would be cool. So I went ahead and picked these up too as add-ons for the campaign. So some custom dice, which the one side is the Japanese emblem. So that's cool. I like that idea. And I also got them for, and I won't take them out of the bag, I'll just show you. Just in case you want to order them from DVG, I got Germany. Because, of course, you all know Eastern Front is one of my bread and butter things. And then, of course, Soviet Union as well. Da. Alright, now, let me just take a moment here, move things around a tiny bit as I get ready to unveil the piece de resistance. The centerpiece, the lynch piece, if you will. Any other way you want to use to describe things here. And that is, of course, the thing that everybody was curious about. The upgrade, okay? So again, it was basically like if you own the first edition, you know, you don't need to buy a complete second edition. You can just get the upgrade kit, which is what I did. And then, of course, I got the expansions because, again, I mean, you know, being able to do the campaign game, that's awesome. The island thing, awesome. The Yamamoto thing, I'll be curious to see how that works. I really, really want to like this game. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get there now with this. Okay? So let's take a look. Here we have upgraded Japanese order, upgraded campaign map, and rulebook upgrade. Now, how much of an upgrade? Well, I'll take a look at the rulebook and show you what I saw online to see if it's the same thing here, which I assume would happen to be. You can see it's the second edition. But then I have the first edition map over here, where my finger is pointing, that I'm going to lay on the table next to the second edition map. So that way we can kind of take a look and compare. Okay? So again, you know, you can decide, do you want to, you know, with all of this, do you want to, well, for lack of a better way to put it, do you want to ABBA the game or not? If you change your mind, I'm the first in line. Y'all know that one? Take a chainsaw on me. Okay. So, here we go. Let's start with the rulebook. And then we'll go to the map last. Huh. Okay. So, rulebook. Here, the Fleet Commander Nimitz rulebook. The big thing, the big changes, as you can see right here, it says all second edition rules are in red. Okay, and basically, just to show you real quick, the big thing is for the second edition rules is the supply and the orders are what's significantly changed. The other thing that's really changed is the back of the counters now have a little code to tell you where they set up at the beginning of each campaign. Okay, but again, you can see here, U.S. Resupply, Big thing is that now it doesn't cost you supply points to move the U.S. forces. So that'll be interesting from what I understand. Now again, that's just scuttlebutt from BGG. But if you look here, look, these two pages look like they're bleeding. This is all the new updated Japanese order charts, okay? Because of course there were some complaints about the Japanese order charts before, and I have to admit, I found them a little choppy, but I didn't mind some of the randomness because again, you know, and I've said this before, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it again real quick. It's like, when it comes to any kind of competition, no matter what it is, whether it's the ultimate competition, war, or it's football or chess or anything, the biggest thing is exploiting your opponent's mistakes. Some of them sometimes will be microscopic, like Bobby Fischer, you know, one positional advantage on top of another and then winning an extra pawn, to like gross errors, you know, pieces hanging, or, you know, somebody fumbles the football away. It's all about mistakes. And sometimes there are head-scratching things that people do, you know, and I don't mind that in my AI systems. I don't mind if they do something that makes me go raggy. You know, one of the big criticisms about the Stalingrad game from Venta Nuevo, Stalingrad Inferno on the Volga, is about how the AI behaves and stuff. Well, you know, the Russians did a lot of weird things too. They made, you know, commissars and all that stuff. So that never bothered me as much, but I'll be curious to see force composition, how that's going to work with all this, if it's going to stay tighter, you know, we'll see. But as you can see, it's the usual, what you would usually expect from DVG in terms of quality, color, double column, nice big print, because let's face it, not many of us are getting any younger in the wargaming community. Scary thing is I think I'm one of the younger ones at 48, so no, not quite 48, I'm hanging on to 47 with both sets of fingernails. Okay, so as you can see, the rest of it, like the battle plans, you don't really see any red. Post-battle, there's some red. Losses, there's some red. So not a whole lot of red, okay? So there's that with the second edition update kit. And now there's new OBs too for each year, although these are only sheets of paper. I don't like that. In the original game, I'm pretty sure that they're kind of thicker cardboard. So I don't like things being this thin when you got to manipulate them and move them around and they're not stapled together. Because to me, that's just an invitation to tear something. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, I guess because, you know, if you don't buy the expansions, they do provide the second edition battle board, if you will. So let's take a look at those. I didn't realize that was in there, quite frankly. Okay, so it looks to be a little bit bigger. Maybe not. Well, maybe not. Maybe. Well, actually, I think the island itself might be a tiny bit. Maybe I'm wrong, though. I don't know. I'll let you at home decide, okay? But it looks like everything else is pretty close to being the same. So this is the generic island if you don't get the pack that I got with the specific islands, which to me, you know, that's definitely worth it. So if you just get the second edition upgrade kit, that's what you're going to get. Now, let's see if I can make this work to show off the changes in the map. Let me see if I can make this work. This might be hard because the map is fairly large. So give me a minute here. This is the second edition map. Okay, this is the new one. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping things kind of separated here if I can. And then here's first edition. You know what? I'm never going to fit that in. Never. Alright, so let's take a look at the second edition here. What do we see? Well, we see a couple of different things here. I'll tell you what. Let me look at the first edition off camera and then I'll show you. Okay, well, whoops. The first thing I noticed right away here is the orders. The Japanese orders now go all the way down to 19 plus because I think like some of the other leader games, I think supply now influences the die roll. You know, if you have X amount of supply, then you go ahead and get, you know, that added to the die roll. I forget which game that is. Is that Napoleon? I don't know. I haven't played the other big three, if you will, in a while, Napoleon, Alexander, and Rommel. But one of them does that. I know that for sure. Maybe it's Rommel that does that. Okay, so that's huge change here, because here's the first edition map. And as you can see, it only goes up to 10 here on the orders. Okay, the other big thing, hopefully it jumped out at you right away. It did as soon as I opened up this map for myself. But the other big thing is the Japanese resupply up here. Okay, so that doesn't exist on this map. This is just big empty space of ocean there. But the Japanese resupply table. Okay, so that'll be interesting to see how they're going to do that as well too. With all of that. Japanese reinforcements look pretty much the same. New Japanese forces, invasion. The sequence of play is moved now. It's gone to the middle of the board from when it was in the right-hand corner on the first edition board. Let's see. So basically what they did was, well, clearly they changed. This over here was the huge change, is the Japanese order and the resupply, which makes sense because that's what was in the rule book. So that totally makes sense there. And a reorganization of things that way as well. So, yeah, the other things are here, like before the return to port stuff. The other lines going down. I don't see any changes in numbers, like the Marianas are still 6 and 6. The Solomons are still 6 and 6. Samoa is 2 and 2. Okay, so yeah, okay. So size of the map I think hasn't changed. No, I can lay the first edition right here, right over top, with no sweat whatsoever. Okay, so the big thing here is still point to point, which I mean shouldn't surprise anybody as far as that goes. But the big thing here is the resupply and the orders. The rest of it looks like it's pretty much stayed the same, although some of these numbers up here may have changed, and the sequence of play now is right smack dab in the middle. Okay, and then there's also U.S. supply point box up here, which actually was down here before. So this is really the big thing here. And then of course the other thing I'm assuming that's a big change is going to be the composition of units, things of that nature. Okay, it is a mounted map board again. Hopefully you noticed that right off the bat. So, shoot, I thought I ordered US dice too. Let me see my slip for a second. Hang on, everybody. Didn't I order US dice too? Nope, I didn't get any US dice. What? Alright. Okay, so there you have it. There is what is part of the upgrade kit, or I should say the upgrade kit for Fleet Commander Nimitz. And then, of course, the expansions. You got the Yamamoto expansion with the extra counters and the cards. You've got the campaign expansion, which now lets you link things together, okay, with their own rules and their own cards for doing so. And then, of course, the map, which, I mean, again, if you don't own it at all, I mean, I don't know, you might want to wait and see what people have to say. Quite frankly, I'm going to plunge into this just as soon as I can because I got to know. You know, I'm like the bank robber and Dirty Harry. I gots to know. So I'm going to dive into this as soon as I can. If I don't do a playthrough, I definitely will come back and share my thoughts because I know other people have done playthroughs and stuff. So, I mean, sometimes I still do playthroughs that other people have done of games, but sometimes I stay away from that and just kind of give my thoughts at times too. As well, because I played this quite a bit when it first came out and I really wanted to like it, and you know, again, I had high hopes and it didn't quite work out. So here's hoping the expansions will make things better, beef things up to make Fleet Commander Nimitz a better game. I have always thought of the Field Commander, Fleet Commander ones. Now, of course, we're not talking like, you know, Phantom Leader and stuff, not the aircraft games. That to me is a completely different type of leader animal, if you will. But the other ones that are part of this set, like Rommel, Napoleon, Alexander, I've always felt this was the weakest of the group. So hopefully this will beef it up, make it better, make it a good strategic lighter game, so if you don't want to get into a meteor thing like say Fire in the Sky or Across the Pacific, then you can get into this if you just want to, you know, get your Pacific Theater Grand Strategic game satiate your appetite for that in a very manageable manner. So that's what's inside the expansions 1, 2, and 3, and the second edition upgrade kit for those of you who own the first edition. All right, so next time one of two things I think is going to happen. Either next time I'm going to A, be talking about this, or B, depending if I need time to kind of play this and digest for a little bit and come back. I have had some folks ask me about when I was going to do a multiplayer solo play of Versailles 1919, so I might go ahead and come back to that as well too, just to show, you know, if you decide you want to play it 4-player, how does that feel solo wise. Okay, all right, so there you go, folks. Those of you who've been wondering if you should get this upgrade kit or get these expansions for this, well, this gives you a glimpse, and hopefully now you will know. And as G.I. Joe says, knowing is half the battle. All right, this is Tim Korchnoi from Bare Bones Wargaming saying thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time, either from the conference table at Versailles or somewhere in the middle of BFE and the Pacific Ocean. Thanks for watching. See you next time.